UH Manoa continues to move toward its goal of becoming a native Hawaiian place of learning, whether it's through expanding the use of the Hawaiian language or combining native tools with modern science. For more, we send things over to Kamaka Pili. Kamaka.
Hawaii is known as this quote-unquote melting pot of cultures, which I'm not the biggest fan of that example, but it really gives a highlight and brings the spotlight on all the different cultures that come to Hawaii, calling this their home. But there is something to learn when it comes from Hawaiian cultural values itself. So speaking of this, we are introducing, she is the Native Hawaiian Affairs Program Officer from the University of Hawaii. We're here with Dr. Punihei Laip. Thank you very much, Doctor, for this, because I'm really interested in this summit that's coming up next week, Tuesday through Thursday, which is the Hawaii Ku'uhome Aloha Summit. But taking it back to UH first, I hear that the university is becoming more of a Native Hawaiian place of learning. I'm interested. What does that mean for you guys?
Yeah, mahalo for that question. I like to talk about it in two buckets, if you will. On the one hand, we talk about becoming more responsive to Native Hawaiians, Native Hawaiian students, Native Hawaiian employees at the university, and of course, Native Hawaiian communities. So how to be more responsive to their needs, but also their assets, and how do we work together to make sure that they succeed? On the other hand, we're talking about becoming more reflective of Native Hawaiian culture for all people who call Hawaii home, to learn from, to grow from, to connect from, and even to heal from.
So this summit then next week, again, taking place starting Tuesday through Wednesday, which is a very significant day, ending on Thursday, 16th through the 18th. What is the point of bringing this together, and what can people get out of this summit?
Yeah, so Hawaii Ku'uhome Aloha is the name of the summit, Hawaii, our beloved home. And we want to bring all of the kind of people who call Hawaii home, the different communities, not just Hawaiians, but anyone who calls Hawaii home, to come together, to listen to one another, to share stories with one another, and to connect with one another, thinking about our past, our present, and ultimately the future we want for our grandchildren here in Hawaii.
As I mentioned, the date of specifically the 17th, but I think the time span is significant within each day itself. But the 17th is very significant as being the 131st commemoration of the illegal overthrow of Queen Liliuokalani in the Hawaiian Kingdom. Is that a big part in terms of choosing this date for this summit?
Absolutely. You know, the day before will be the National Day of Racial Healing, and the day before that is Martin Luther King Jr. Day, where he's inviting us to think about the beloved communities we want to build. And so January 17, we have a lot to still discover, talk through, heal from when it comes to that day for all people who call Hawaii. And so the invitation, I think, on top of that, to think about the beloved home we want to create for our future and the way we heal together is incredibly important and significant.
That is an amazing event to create, hopefully heal through some of the issues that we've been dealing with. So with that being said, this is 3 days. What are some of the events that are taking place throughout this summit?
Yeah, so Tuesday, we are looking at the past. So stories from different communities who have called Hawaii home for some time now. Wednesday, where we're going to be looking at different ways we can think about the present. How do we be present with ourselves, each other, and Aina, and different kind of workshops with that. And then Thursday, we're really excited about a keynote with Dr. Gail Christopher, a leader of healing work across America, paired with Kumuhula Kekuhi Kili'i Kanaka Ole o Haililani. It's going to be really exciting. If people work on the first 2 days, come to the keynote that evening on the 18th.
Well, thank you very much, and thanks for putting together such an important event. I know that there's a lot of issues that people don't like to talk about, so having this safe space to be able to talk, hopefully leading to healing, is what we need. So thank you very much.
Mahalo.
There are a lot of people who are participating already in this event, but there are a lot of spaces available. This is free and available to the entire public. So to find out all the information, its scheduling, and to get your ticket, be sure to head to our website, khon2.com. Thank you again very much.